Good morning and welcome. I am Rachel Kerr Schneider, and this morning we are at St. John's Episcopal Church in Ketchikan, Alaska. And I am joined by the lovely Miss Asa, who is a parishioner here, and she has graciously agreed to give us a little bit of background about St. John's and point out some of the unusual features of this church. So, Miss Asa, if you would kind of share with us a little bit about what makes St. John's so special.
Yes, it is indeed special. Originally, it was from land which was given to the church group, but the man who gave the land was a trapper, and he claimed it by being a squatter. But the squatting was honored, and along came the missionaries, and the man said, "All right, I'll give you this land if you will promise to build a school for the local Indian children." He was kind of cranky, but he had a heart for children. He said, "All right, build a school and I'll give you this land." And his transfer was honored.
Nice.
Then there used to be a school, which is where the parking lot is now, but it's gone now. So they built this church, and it was originally one floor lower because it was built right on pilings, and the tide would come up.
Okay.
This continued for quite a while. However, the tide would come up, and it was no good. But you could row a little boat up to the church, go up the little stairs, and come right in the door. You could row a boat to church. Then came the Army Corps of Engineers, came to the whole town. And so if you go out and look at the quote-unquote land, it's filled, the brilliant big fill, and there's still pilings. And this is still on big rocks and pilings. So there's water underneath this. You just don't know it.
Wow.
But there is. Anyway, to build the church, it took money. But the local Indians, like the missionaries, and they listened. They did listen. They said, "All right, we're free." You see, they didn't work 9 to 5. So they said, "Well, we'll come over and we'll do the work. And further, we'll chop down the trees. Red cedar and yellow or white cedar." And they were so skillful, they did the main part of the building with no nails. You'd think it would fall apart. No, it doesn't. Because of the way they built it, the more the winds blow, the stronger the pieces come together, and it becomes stronger in a storm. Now, there's a point there. All right.
Absolutely.
Now, some people say they can smell it. I can't, but there's the cedar smell. And cedar is naturally insect resistant. They say because of the smell, insects don't like it. And notice also the arch. It's not really a Gothic arch, but it's an arch. It's like a ship turned upside down. Because those Indians were very, very skillful men. They made good large ships. Look how large this thing is. They would make a ship loaded with their trade goods, smoked salmon, fur pelts, antlers, things like that. And they would go all the way down to California to meet the California Indian people. Because California Indian people had something that people here wanted. So they would trade. They actually did their own kind of swapping and bartering. And they come back laden with California goods. So they had a good life. And the Indians here really did live well. They could eat fish, clams, and seaweed. They're very much into seaweed. Now the windows originally were good quality clear glass with blue decals, just for a little bit of decoration. But then around the 1960s, several families started to think, to remember and honor their older members. So they would get together the money, and if you look at the inscriptions, it's in memory of grandma or a couple, or just look at the little, you know how people would dedicate.
Yes.
And that's why all of them have a blue border, just because you have to have blue decorations. Now you can go to the old church of St. Elizabeth, which was the sister church, and they still have the plain glass with the blue decals. All right, now that church is, of all things, what I had been looking for. I couldn't figure it out when I came here. What do they do when somebody passes away? I found the church basement is the local mortuary. And the upstairs, of course, it was a church. That's the funeral home. Makes sense, right?
Yes. Very practical.
Okay. Now, I've never gone in there, but they say it was kind of a matching building in a way. But this church then took in those members, and has continued since that time. So we have about a total list of 100. Maybe 60 will attend on a Sunday, and we have a good time. We have first service and second service, and in between we have coffee time, and I always make sure to, this is how I keep my sanity. I make sure to make a good big batch of something like coffee cake or something. Otherwise I cannot keep my sanity. I have to be in the kitchen. I mean, someone else may think, I don't like that. I don't want to do baking. I don't want to be, no, I want to be in the kitchen. And I do it for God's people. We all sit around and have, of course other people do things too. It's very nice. We have a very nice hospitable time. It's really great.
Well, Asa, I can feel your spirit, and if you are any indication of the type of individuals that worship here at St. John's, Ketchikan is a wonderful place to be. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome.
For sharing with us this beautiful space where you worship and fellowship, and just enjoy God's nature and His goodness. And I just thank you for being a part of our little educational plan today. If you've got any more questions, visit us on our website. This is Rachel Kerr-Schneider saying we will see you soon from who knows where. Looking forward to it. In the meantime, share your spirit with someone.